Hi, I'm Erica Paz.
And I'm Jamie Pulsifer.
And I'm Micah Roberts.
So we just watched a video that was about a doctor who went to Ethiopia, and he eventually took in 18 children who had spinal injuries, essentially. And most of those spinal injuries had been determined because of tuberculosis. And he told a story about that.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool that he pretty much devoted his life at this point where he's at into adopting 18 kids and helping them. And he said something that was cool. He said curing them isn't enough, so he took that and brought the kids into his home and actually adopted them. And it's crazy how much of a difference one person can make in a country like that. And I really liked how he had the sick kids that were living with him. He had those kids also help other sick kids, which was really interesting because it can help them see how other people are to them. And he says giving somebody a chance is the best thing he could do, and that's basically what he did. He said that he had several kids die, which I can't imagine that would be really hard.
Yeah. So in Ethiopia, where he was at, he talked about how there's hardly any doctors at all in Ethiopia, and there are many children who are orphans or living on the street and just do not have an opportunity. Even if there were doctors in Ethiopia, they wouldn't have an opportunity to be treated for the problems they have because of their circumstances. And so the 18 or 17 or however many children that he adopted, that they were talking about, those kids, pretty much all of them came from just off the streets or in rural areas where they did not have access to surgical procedures. The doctor talked about how he basically has given up his entire personal life to help these children and just other various people around in the community. And that's like a lifelong commitment. That's not just something you do over a summer break kind of thing. So that was really inspiring to see how dedicated he was to helping the people where he was at. The only thing he said that's really like his time is when he goes swimming occasionally to clear his mind and things like that. But other than an occasional swim, all of his time is spent just helping people with medical issues and problems. Another cool thing that they talked about was for people here in the United States, if they want to help somebody over in Ethiopia, it's not very hard at all. He gave an example of a 16-year-old boy who came to visit a school area in Ethiopia, which was basically built out of sticks, and there was a little place to keep the sun off of everybody, and they would kind of huddle up under this shade, and that's where they would sit, and that's where they were going to school, basically. So no walls or anything like that. And when the 16-year-old boy visited there, he decided that he wanted to do something to help. And so he went back home. I think he was from Canada or someplace. I think he was from Canada. So he went back home and raised $5,000, and it was enough to build a school that houses 50 or so kids now. So that was interesting to learn about just how much good can be done by people if they have a desire to help.
I think the doctor, he set a really good example, especially for the fact we would talk about a lot of principles about how if you have much, then you should share it and you should give to others. And I think it was in this class where we talked about if you have a lot, then you have a responsibility to influence others and take them in and just keep giving even though you, if you have a lot, I guess, basically. So,
Yep. Okay. The last thing there was a cool quote. Something he said. He said, um, "When you save a life, you save a world." That was cool. That's kind of the motto that he goes by. Is he's not just trying to save children from dying, but he really believes in them as individuals and that they have potential and a future ahead of them. So, yep.
There we go.